Business owners, you need to get the word out. Are you looking for brand exposure, business expansion, looking for new clients, hiring remotely for staff positions, or hiring new employees to open additional offices? Are you looking to advertise new projects, start business partnerships, or seeking new business opportunities? Do you need to highlight new upgrades, features, or products? Promote up-and-coming events, seminars, classes, or celebrate business anniversaries and achievements with the world? Now's the time to get your commercial featured on my show. Send me an email for package pricing, and let's grow and expand your business together.
How my journey began. It's graduation time. Family is very important to me, including my puppies. The Marine Corps played a huge role in my life and allowed me to be ambitious, inspiring, a mentor, and achieve all of my goals. As a financial expert, I've received multiple awards, done various events as a guest speaker all over the U.S. with my platform of creating healthy financial habits, along with having my own business, all leading up to my show. Come along for the journey.
Hello, Gems, and welcome. For the month of June, I'm going to be highlighting the achievements of men who are fathers and mentors, not only to their children, but to other individuals as well. They have successful careers, are inspirational, and impactful in the communities around them. This is our Happy Father's Day edition. Here are a few statistics on independent truck drivers. Independent contractor truck drivers, also known as owner-operators, are truck drivers that are not classified as employees of the trucking company that they drive for. Independent contractor drivers are able to set their own schedules, choose the type of work they want to do, and choose their own equipment. Freight brokers help find truckloads for owner-operators and fleet owners. Brokers make it easier for independent truck drivers looking for quality loads because they usually have a relationship with the shippers. They do charge a fee for their services and work on commission with an average brokerage fee ranging from 15% to 20% per load. There are several expenses that come with being an owner-operator to include fuel, tires, preventative maintenance, road use taxes, tolls, fuel taxes, personal and/or corporate taxes, breakdown costs, personal insurance, and many other expenses. Annual truck maintenance and repairs are estimated to cost around $15,000. Common issues include the airline hoses breaking down, alternators needing to be repaired, wiring, and brake repairs. Additionally, annual tire expenses can run around $4,000 a year to replace 16 out of the 18 tires on an 18-wheeler. Independent truck drivers' gross pay average is right around $183,000 per year, but expenses can run around 70%. Thus, the average owner-operator pay drops to right around $50,000 to $60,000 for take-home. Again, these are just averages. Now, for today's guest, he was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. He is a Marine veteran and served 9 honorable years in the Corps as a 0121 admin clerk and 6112 a helicopter mechanic. His favorite city-state to drive through is Tacoma, Washington, as well as Seattle, Washington, because he loves the drive on Interstate 405. The ocean and the trees complete the scenery. Even when it's raining, the scenery is always beautiful and pretty. A good memory that he has of his father is his dad teaching him basketball and perseverance. Currently, home base for him is Kansas City, Missouri. Gems, let's welcome Frederick Evans, and owner of Bear Logistics, LLC, to the show. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for such an amazing intro. Thank you.
You are so welcome, but it's you. It's all you. So you're going to do great. Can't wait for my Gems to get to know you a little bit better. So let's go ahead and get started. So how did the idea to become an owner operator come about? Because there's always some way that a lot of our entrepreneurs and business owners get to the business. So how did that come about for you?
This I've been driving for almost 4 years, or actually a little over 4 years. And I drove company for about 3.5 years. I decided to go owner operator because I wanted more flexibility with my schedule, flexibility with how long I stayed out, when I could go home and basically start calling my own shots. And then when I was with a particular car hauler, is when I decided to start Bear Logistics.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that because I know there was a specific situation concerning your paycheck that happened, and we all like to get paid on time. I know I like to get paid on time, and when you don't, oh, it gets the wheels moving. So tell us a little bit about that.
Bear Logistics actually started as a necessity. The car hauler I was working for at the time, I just finished a run from Charleston, South Carolina to Seattle, Washington. And at the end of the week, I was owed about $2,700.
Mhm.
The company ran into an issue with the broker, and they basically told me that they didn't have the money to pay me out, and I would get paid when the company gets paid.
Ooh, right.
So I was supposed to get paid Friday. I didn't get paid till the following Tuesday.
Oh my goodness. So,
So that phrase, that last sentence that my manager told me, I'll get paid when the company gets paid, it just stuck with me. And when my job went from being an asset to a complete liability, and they just said, I'll get paid when the company gets paid, my only thought was, well, if I'll get paid when the company gets paid, I need to own the company.
boom, that's what I'm saying. I like that click and that change of I need to be in control when I get back. I got bills to pay. I got things I want to do, and not being, having someone else hold your money up just because we didn't get paid. So sorry about you. I'm so happy that that did click for you. As I say, the light bulb came off and you decided to start the company. So when did you actually leave the company, and how did that the ball then start to move?
I was still a company driver with the car hauler. How I ended up leaving was about a month after this particular situation. Um, it Another issue with my pay came up again, and I said, you know what? Once, okay, but twice, never again.
Right.
So after the second time they had messed my pay up, I sent them my 2 week notice, and I made it effective 3 days later.
Absolutely. And when did you start taking courses online?
Um, I started taking courses, I would say I started taking courses March last year.
And these were like business courses just to kind of help you with the business aspect of everything.
Financial literacy,
Yes,
business, stocks, understanding the back end business of trucking, more than just, sitting in the truck all day, but understanding the relationship between dispatchers, brokers, uh, shippers, carriers, and understanding how the pieces move, and how to basically just maneuver within the industry more effectively and more complete than just being just a driver.
and just a driver. And I've been telling my gyms that they know me from now that anytime you're going to be a business owner, do your research because there's more to it, especially if you're used to being an employee, which at some time that's what we all were, an employee. Switching the mindset and becoming an owner, a business owner, is completely different because you have more on your plate. And as you start to go, you have employees to take care of. So kudos to you for actually sitting down and saying, hey, let me get a grasp on everything so that I'm not just going, shooting the arrow in the dark and just hoping it lands on the target. So tell us
Yes.
about your decision to do a lease to own contract and what all does that entail?
A lease to own contract is usually frowned upon in the trucking industry just because of the out of pocket costs that goes with it. But there's a lot that you get with that cost. Um,
So what is that?
So
Yeah, the out-of-pocket cost.
the lease is more expensive than a traditional buyout. But with the lease, maintenance, maintenance repairs, and yeah, maintenance repairs, insurance, and my if the tax stamps, all of that is covered under the lease agreement. So there's a particular headache I don't have to really worry about, especially the maintenance part.
Right. So how long is the lease?
2 years.
2 years and monthly payments, because it's a lease, guys, just like renting an apartment, leasing a car, there is a monthly payment. So roughly, what is the monthly cost for that?
Weekly payments, actually.
Woo! Weekly payments. What's the weekly payments?
Weekly payments for the truck and trailer is about 1,100.
About 1,100 a week. And then what is the overall cost of the truck? Because I really want the gyms to understand that you're 1,100 for the cost of a tractor trailer broken down by the truck and the trailer. These are not pennies on a dollar. These are huge investments. You really need to know what you're getting into if this is what you want to do. So about how much for the truck?
So for a good truck, a decent used truck, you can probably get around 45 to 70,000, depending on the make and model. A newer model, or a newer truck like I have, is about 160,000.
And then for the trailer?
The trailer is another 25 to 30,000, depending where you get it from.
Right. So Tim's basically right under $200,000. It's going to take personal investment to become an owner operator. And we may sit back and say, oh, that's too much, but we invest in homes, we invest in startups, we invest in stocks, we invest in everything else. Why not invest in your dreams? So he's doing it, it's going to get paid off and it's going to happen. I just like for them to know it. And in order, key, because he did all his work, in order to make these weekly payments, about how many miles a day do you, quote unquote, kind of need to drive or would like to drive?
On average, I usually drive 5 to 600 miles a day.
And then, yep, go ahead. So give us an idea what that means, because we hear 500 for people who just go from our home to work, grocery store and home. What is 500 miles from what city to city?
Let's see. 500 miles would probably be Houston, Texas to just outside New Orleans, Louisiana.
Absolutely. There you go, guys. So we can get that map and that scale in our head. That is 500 miles daily. That's not just a summer vacation. That's not just going to visit family. This is daily that he does because he is invested into his vision and his dreams. So what are you licensed to drive? Because you're just not just a regular tractor trailer. You have a lot of endorsements and a lot of licenses. So what are you licensed to drive?
I currently have a CDL Class A license, which basically authorizes me to drive any heavy duty 18-wheeler. I've got experience with dry van, flatbeds, car hauling, oversized loads, tanker and hazmat. I've done pretty much everything. I've hauled almost everything you can haul.
And the double and triple?
Yes, I did doubles and triples while I was working the oil field, which was
I
not fun.
I bet, because when I see him on the road and I'm like, whoa, let me get out of his way. He's not just hauling one thing. This is a lot of loads back there. So yes. And again, Jims, I'm here to tell you, we had, our little very basic driving course to take care of our car. We're talking about those 1, 2, and 3 trailers that he's able to drive and maneuver around you road ragers who go weaving in and out of truck drivers, so that he takes care of your safety and makes sure he gets the loads on time. So kudos to you for doing that and making sure that you have the versatility, not only for the companies that you work for, but also for yourself. So always like to give props for doing more than what is expected. So what are the benefits of being an owner operator? You mentioned a few before, but I kind of definitely want to hone in on that. So what are the benefits for you?
Benefits of being an owner operator: one, I get to designate when I do and don't work. I can pick my lanes, pick my regions that I want to run and pick my equipment, whether it's dry van, reefer, flatbed or whatever have you. Um, it's not being forced to stay out when I don't want to, or if I have something to do when I get home. It's not, hey, run this next load and we'll see what we can do. It's, I need to go home, I go home. There's no, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And of course, the big thing about being an owner operator is definitely definitely more money to be made on this side, but there's also more money that you're going to have to spend on this side as well.
Absolutely. And he hit it the nail on the head. Not only does he get to travel to 48 states because he's all over the country, he's not held captive to one company. So he's not just working for one company. Being able to have a freight broker, and we'll get to that in a minute. You guys are going to love hearing how that works. But given the opportunity to have that versatility is good. No limits on how many times you can use the same company. If you like someone you're working with, you can always go back to them or switch and change. So definitely having that versatility. What is the trucking slogan? I love this. You said, if the wheels...
If the wheels aren't turning, you're not earning.
There we go. He said he got 500 miles a day. So this is not for the lazy. This is not for people who are, I just want to work Monday, Tuesday. I mean, you can, but your paycheck will reflect your lack of your lack of work. This is not like your regular Monday through Friday where you can go into work. You're supposed to work 8 hours a day and you can end up working 4 because you ate at your desk. You kind of chatted in the office. This is, you need to work. And yes, you make your own schedule, but you hold yourself accountable and responsible to yourself and to the paycheck and your responsibilities. So you mentioned one thing, the out-of-pocket expenses. On average, how much should an individual who's thinking to be an owner-operator have just on hand for maintenance?
Just on hand for maintenance, anybody looking to go owner-operator should have $15,000 to $20,000 set aside just for that. Reason being is because you want enough money to basically replace an engine if absolutely necessary.
Absolutely.
And you want to keep that much money set aside for maintenance issues. One, because you want to be able to take care of it right then and there. Two, you don't want repairs to cut into your actual profit margin.
Absolutely.
So you can make some substantial income in trucking. But I knew one guy, he saved up just enough money for the down payment on his truck. He got his truck and trailer and everything else, and he had 2 tires blow out on his first run.
Wow.
2 tires and he bent one of the rims. Long story short, it was over, I think it was about $2,500 in repairs that he didn't have.
Right.
So immediately it sent him under and he went bankrupt because he wasn't financially stable and he didn't plan ahead.
Absolutely. And this is where planning takes place, Jims, because $2,500 maybe to some people might not be a lot, to other people it is, specifically when your career depends on it. You need the tires in order to work. You
Correct.
need money to get the tires in order to work. You see how this trickles down. So if you don't have it, you're not working. So that's how that situation can easily turn into bankrupt, can easily turn into seeking unemployment and then having to start all over again with a new career or just a new type of baseline. So being prepared for this takes a while in advance to make sure that you have enough. And you said it, 15,000 at minimum just for maintenance. And that's on an annual basis, not your play money. It's not vacation money. This is just for those expenses that not if will happen. You're in that truck 24/7. Something's going to break down. So moving right along. So what prompted you to come up with the name of your business and how long have you been in business? Because I love the name of your business. Tell us how that all came about.
Bear Logistics. Bear Logistics actually went through probably 10 or 12 different name changes.
Right.
That was the naming the business. I knew I needed to go into business for myself. I just didn't know what avenue I was going to initially take. And I've had the nickname Bear since middle school. Wrestling and football. I've just always had the nickname Bear, and it just followed me into the military and afterwards.
And then so when did Bear Logistics LLC, when did that finally come to fruition?
Bear Logistics Bear Logistics was a thought in February, March of 2020. Bear Logistics was official in October of 2020.
Yay! I love it. I love it. I love it. We love the name as well. So having your own company comes with a lot of moving pieces. So what positions are you currently looking to hire, and explain the roles and responsibilities? Because may not be what you guys think, but these positions are definitely needed.
Currently, I'm looking for an additional dispatcher.
Mhm.
Basically, the role and responsibility of okay, well, there's four big players in the trucking industry. You have the shipper who puts out the freight and the loads. You have the broker who is responsible and in charge of representing the shipper to get the load moved for the least amount of money possible. And then you have the carrier who's going to transport the load. And then you have the dispatcher. That's where I come in. And my job is to represent the carrier and get as much money for the load to transport it as possible. So it's a bit of a tug of war between the dispatcher and the broker. The more money that the dispatcher can get the carrier, the more money that the dispatcher makes. The less money that the load can be booked for and saves the shipper, then the more money the broker makes. So it's a tug of war. It's a little bit of back and forth. It's really just more understanding customer service and negotiating.
Yep, customer service, negotiation, stressful situations, but making sure that you're able to stay level-headed from that. And this is a work from home position?
Yes.
And about how many hours of the day, or how does that kind of look like? Is it daily? Is it just when you need them to do a load, or is that constant? So I want people to know that it's not just, oh, we found Bear Logistics a load. You might need to stay ahead and find the next one. So how does that work?
With my dispatchers, it's going to be either the next, honestly, it's going to depend on the load and how many drivers that you have. So it could be a couple hours each day. It could be, you know, a few minutes every other day, just depending on who's making deliveries, who's got to make pickups, and everything else like that. But it's not overly stressful. It's not as stressful as actually having to drive.
Right. Just like you said, just for negotiating things. So your gyms out there are looking for a work from home position, and you're good with communication, you're good with negotiating, all the things that Frederick said. Well, hit them up, let them interview you. Let's see if you are a good fit for the company. He's definitely says he's open to hire. So shifting gears a bit, as a Marine veteran, how does being an owner operator help you maintain your mental health?
As a Marine veteran, it helps with the stress of the job of being, solitude and isolated for most of the day, most of the time. And just understanding that you still have a job, you still have a mission to do, and it's got to get accomplished one way or the other. So it leans heavy into that go factor and make executions, not excuses. So that's what I really like about it.
Absolutely. And because of the flexibility, if you need, like you said, the time off, that time off and scheduling is on you, correct?
Yes.
Absolutely. And mental health, I know we had spoke about it before, and you take this very, very seriously. And just wanted to get that word out to the community that there is help and assistance for them. Yes.
I think the big issue with at least my three communities,
Yeah.
being African American, military, and truck driving, uh, none of us take any pride or any real steps to address or fix mental health. I mean, growing up black, it was just as long as you're alive, you're good. And the same mentality kind of follows into the military. As long as I'm alive and I can still function, then I'm good. But that's really just, keeping your head and treading above water. That's being alive and being good are two different things entirely.
Absolutely. Being alive and being good is entirely two different things. And mental health is not something to just take lightly of. And we do have a lot of hotlines. We do have therapists for people who out there who need it. What we're talking about right now is just the overall industries and the businesses that some of us have been part of. Sometimes they tend to neglect those things because it is a go, go, go business. It is a profit. Again, you're not working, you're not making money, and they're not making money. Sometimes they can be neglectful of the mental health. So good for you for being an owner operator, because you can get to take the pause and say, okay, I need a timeout for myself to decompress, as opposed to having a supervisor that's like, got one more load for you. Hey,
Right.
right? let me go. Let's just see how you do after this one. And then this one turns into another one, turns into this one. And your break that you wanted was last week. So being able to take that break on you when you need it, not when it's given to you, but definitely when you need it, is definitely one of those great benefits to being an owner operator. So good steps for you for taking care of your mental health.
It's needed. It's mental health is like everything else. If not the most important, um, if not the most important thing to evaluate is your mental health, because everything starts in the mind. Everything starts with a thought, thoughts turn into actions. So you clean your thoughts up and then everything else will just follow suit.
Boom. I love that. So as we continue to celebrate fathers and men who are mentors and role models, you have a few nieces and nephews who adore you. So tell us how you motivate them. I love it.
It doesn't take much. It really doesn't take much. My nieces and nephews range between 13 and my youngest nephew is 3 months. So it doesn't take much. It really just takes me walking into the room, picking them up, and you know, carrying them around and making our own Schwarzenegger noises, and they're good.
Yes. So what type of things do you tell them just kind of to keep their spirits up, giving them little tidbits of motivation?
For them, because I don't have any kids yet.
Yeah.
For them, I want to teach them the stuff that we didn't learn growing up.
Right.
So I do talk to them about money. I do talk to them about savings and investments and being entrepreneurs and working for yourself. And I'm trying to instill in them and set them up for the world that they're going to grow into. Not what happened to us, where we just got told go to school and get a good job and work 50 years and hopefully you die after the house is paid off.
Right. There's
Like that,
definitely
we got taught by boomers to still be in a boomer world, and I'm like, no, that's not it.
that's definitely not it. Definitely. So yeah, teaching them there's a better way, a different path, a different direction that they can take rather than just live to die. There's definitely a little bit more living to do into that. And love the fact that you're teaching them these goals and these mindsets along the way. So Frederick, thank you for sharing your experiences and your knowledge with us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, gems. It's time for your financial gems. Your financial gems for today are learn to invest early. By early, I mean as soon as you start earning a paycheck. Start investing into your future. Up next, don't buy on impulse. And by impulse, think to yourself, is this a want or a need? Take your time and think about it. Let's get away from that impulse buying. and research your options. Maybe what it is that you want may not be the best deal. It may not be what you need right now. Maybe a different version is coming out later. Number three, think like an investor, not a consumer. Is this an immediate gratification or will it have a future ROI or return on investment? Don't buy liabilities and neglect assets. And finally, learn patience. Growth comes with steady, consistent habits that nourish your goals into achievements. So it is our show custom to have every guest provide our gems with an inspirational quote. Frederick, what is your personal inspirational quote you would like to share with us today?
My quote is something I've been running with since I was in the Marine Corps. It's how you train is how you maintain.
Ooh, I like it.
Basically, how you train yourself is going to be how you sustain yourself. So basically, if you get in the habit of training yourself to get up at 5:30 or 6 or whenever your alarm clock goes off, you get in the habit of stretching, working out, eating healthy, and knocking goals out, then those habits are going to sustain you. The same as if you consistently hit the snooze button, don't prioritize anything, you're lackadaisical, then those lazy habits, how you train yourself, you can train yourself to be lazy. It's just a matter of how you spend that time. You can.
Absolutely. It's a matter of how you spend that time, and how you train yourself is how you maintain yourself. I love that. Keeping a healthy mindset. So thank you again for being a guest on our show today and being part of the journey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Love it. All right, Gems, creating healthy financial habits is a lifelong commitment. Remember, without change, there be no butterflies. Changing habits, changing lives, and changing futures are all up to you. Till next time, Gems, take care.